With that, we welcome you inside the stand. Sheriff Center, Kanoa Leahy and Chris McLaughlin. C-Mac, take us through the Kaiser Permanente keys to the match.
Well, for Riverside, they've got to paint the lines. That means they got to serve down the line, force Hawaii's double passing pattern disruption. And for Hawaii, they got to be efficient. Last night, they hit only 225. They need to improve that in order to compete next week against the big girls in the mainland, Santa Barbara, and Cal Poly San Luis Obispo.
The UC Riverside Highlanders coming in 5-9 overall. They are 0-3 in the Big West Conference, and they are without the services of their top player, Ka'iulani Ahuna, a 5'10 senior outside hitter out of Kamehameha, Hawaii. Did not make the trip, still nursing a knee injury. Highlanders shifting some players around in the lineup as we embark on set one. Hawaii and UC Riverside. Natasha Burns getting the first stab at things, unable to put it down. Hawaii on the attack again. It's Burns a second time. Great dig by Nicole Rodriguez. This is kind of what Riverside does. They are a great defensive team when it comes to digging the volleyball, as Noreen Yosia makes it look so effortless and just plops it in the middle of the D. The Hawaiian Financial FCU starting lineups will be scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
Like Dave showed you said in the game on before this, he said, whoever wins the long rallies is probably going to be victorious tonight. Hawaii won the first long rally, but Riverside proved that that stat of 17 digs per set is no mistake.
Nyla Jones, a 5'9 freshman from South Holland, Illinois, hits it into the antenna. She will be relied upon heavily here over the course of the absence of Ka'iulani Ahuna, averaging 2.79 kills per set, hitting a $115 on the year. 2 serving 0 here in favor of the home team. Middle set is put down by Kat Lowry, 6'1 sophomore from Rockford, Illinois. She's hitting 203 on the year. For what Riverside is able to do defensively, second in the conference with 17.4 digs as a squad per set. Offensively, in transition, that's where they have struggled, hitting just 178 as a squad. Outside, it's Noreen Yosia with the full swing, and she gets rejected. That's Morgan Klein getting the gist of that one, the 5'10", the redshirt sophomore.
Morgan Klein's only played 16 sets all year long, so she's a veritable rookie out there on the outside. Nice block.
And so we're even 2-2 here to start set number 1. Natasha Burns, the dink sniffed out by Klein. Back bump set goes to Jones and hits it into the twine.
Jones may have seen that block up there. A pretty big block with Natasha Burns up there. She's been a force up front, as was Krug last night. She was impressive.
Yeah, and how about that? Kamale Krug, who made her season debut last night in the middle position opposite Natasha Burns, getting the start here tonight. Little mix-up on the Hawaii defensive side as Nyla Jones takes advantage, and we are going tit for tat here to start set number 1.
Well, some broken play. It looked like it was going to be a point for Hawaii, and all of a sudden, Riverside scooped it out of the net, and Jones took advantage.
Here's Casey Castillo first swing. She has really been looking fluid in recent weeks, C-Mac.
Yeah, she's been getting stronger and stronger. You know, she works really hard in the weight room to hit hard shots like that.
9 kills.
She wants to make the most of her senior year for sure.
Excuse me, hit 9 kills, 350 percentage last night. And that win over Fullerton, Ekahi'ilua Aloha. The roll shot there by Klein. Diving save, you'll see a second touch Castillo, and it's returned. Outside, now the swing is Riley Bosworth, and that's popped up. Here's McKenna Granato from the back row, and Klein able to sniff it out. Bosworth will take another stab at it, sends it long, point Hawaii.
Another long rally won by the Rainbow Wahine. That time, Noreen Yosia giving up her body to keep the ball alive, keep the rally going.
Scrappiness on both sides of the net on that sequence. 5 serving 3 here, the serve by Natasha Burns. Oh, and pulling that one out from under her sleeve is the savvy senior setter for UC Riverside, Chelsea Doyle.
She's recruited by Michelle Patton Coleman, and she's been at the heart of Coleman's first 5 years at UC Riverside. Very offensively. She'll take a lot of attempts. That's not the first dump shot you'll see tonight.
Yulia Ushakova now in the middle position for UC Riverside. Here's Yosia with a solo blocker against her and a great up by Doyle. Bosworth punches it over. Faith Ma'afala with the dig. Back bump set from Tita Q to Casey Castillo, but she sends it long. And it's a point for Riverside, and they draw even once again here in the early portion of set one.
That was really a pretty bump set. A blind one, by the way, by Q. Right on the money for Castillo, and Casey just could not make the most of it.
Tara Eaton with the serve. Here's Yosia from off the net, tried to go hard angle, and it's in. Are you kidding me?
Nothing surprises me now with Yosia. She's got eyes all around her head, 360 degrees. She sees the block open up. The off blocker came to get the tip, which most people would do. They would tip that shot when they're off the net like that, but not Yosia.
We'll call it a wide fan. How about that?
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
Riley Bosworth able to go through the block and down. As you saw Angel Gaskin enter into the match, the opposite position for Hawaii. Riley Bosworth, one of the players on the move because of the injury to Ahuna, shifting from her usual opposite position to the outside hitter position. As Angel Gaskin on the delayed middle set is able to find the seam.
Gaskins are pretty good about it. Instead of taking that shot on the left, she comes in toward the center, hits a high two in the middle, and has been very successful with it. Now she'll move to the right and hit all the rest of her sets on the right side.
7 serving 6, here's Rika Okino. Outside Bosworth, solo stop, courtesy Angel Gaskin.
All right, getting their block going again, as they did last night. Last night, 8 blocks to 4.5 for Cal State Fullerton last night.
It's block number 18 on the season for Angel. Hawaii by 2. Slide move, and that was nicely executed there. As Yulia Ushakova out of San Diego, California.
But born in Russia.
Correct.
Therefore, she's got volleyball in her blood.
It's a prerequisite.
Yeah.
Averaging 2.1 kills per set. That's good enough for 4th on the team. It'll mix up on Hawaii's side. Chance here for Riverside. Ushakova makes the slide move work again. We're tied here at 8.
She's also a beach player, by the way. She's raised in San Diego, and she loves to play on the beach, and so we may see some beach shots out of her as well.
Good pass there by Okino. Middle set, though, Kamale Krug got stuffed, blocked solo style by Ushakova. Wow, Yulia Ushakova inserted into the match, into the front row rotation, and she has already left a mark as UC Riverside jumps in front for the first time.
Well, she is their top blocker, with more block assists than anyone.
McKenna Granato, that was a blast from a little bit off the net. She is the top hitter for Hawaii, averaging 3.5 kills per set. Held to just 5 kills last night, hit 167, but she carried the heavy load when it mattered most for Hawaii in that 5-set thriller on the road at UC Irvine last Sunday. As that one goes long from Ushakova, proving she is human, and Hawaii jumps back in front. Here is Tita Q to serve. Almost 5 digs per set here on the season for Q. And that one sails long, but it will be called a touch on the Hawaii side of the net, so that's a point for the Highlanders. So here is Ushakova now to serve. Jump floater misses wide, and it's a point for Hawaii. What do you make here of the tempo of this opening frame so far?
Not surprised. As Dave Shoji said earlier, this Riverside team can dig a lot of balls, which can frustrate an offense. And the one thing Robin Amos Santos is looking for tonight is a better offense, a more efficient offense, an offense that hits closer to 300 than the 220 range they've been hitting at recently.
Well, that short serve by Faith Ma'afala, then she comes up with the dig. The set from Granato to Yosia, and she plugged it through the block, but it is returned by Riverside. Ma'afala high and away, Granato off the fingertips of the block and down. And Hawaii just up by 2.
Well, Hawaii's patience on offense will really be tested tonight because Riverside just keeps bringing the ball back. Can't bring that one back. That's just too much Granado.
Seems to be a good energy here in the building to start this match. Maybe people still buzzing from that University of Hawaii football victory on the road against San Jose State in 5 overtimes as Ma'afala almost got the fortuitous ricochet off the tape.
Oh, it's some kind of football game,
oh my
it?
goodness. Rainbow Warriors now 5-1 to start the season. Here is Ashlyn Blotzer now on the floor for UC Riverside. Burns goes off the block. So Okino takes on the setting responsibilities. Yosia made it happen.
You know, there's no pictures in the scorecard. So she'll just get the job done any way necessary. This time she pulls the straight, hits about a 3/4 shot over the block, catches the middle back creeping in, and gets yet another kill.
You're not exactly working that shot regularly in practice. She is performing really just through utter instinct out there on the floor.
Yeah, it's extemporaneous for her. On the fly.
Nyla Jones now, after that put down, back to serve. It is 12 serving 13. Hawaii's 7-5 overall, off to a 3-0 start in the Big West Conference. We have said it time and time again, this year there is little to no room for error in the Big West schedule for the Rainbow Wahine. And there's Noreen Yosia just touching it over and getting a run-of-the-mill kill.
She's going to get another double-double tonight. Well, maybe she's going for a triple-double.
Well, she's got 2 of those so far this season, to go along with 10 double-doubles, including last night, where she had 10 kills and 11 assists, and hit 450.
And in conference, averaging almost 5 kills per set. That's like nation-leading.
Tara Eaton once again getting ready to slap it over here for Riverside. Fielded by Krug. It goes to Castillo on the outside, dug up to the net, played off the net, and it will be returned. Good scramble there by the Highlanders. Here's Yosia with a solo blocker up, and she gets rejected by Riley Bosworth. Usually you like those odds. One-on-one for Yosia. Didn't happen there.
Absolutely. Yosia will probably win those battles one-on-one, or any hitter will win those battles with a blocker, 90% of the time.
We're tied for the 8th time here in this opening frame. Krug dropping the hammer. And Hawaii gets to 15 first after the emphatic smackdown by the freshman Kamale Krug. Welcome back. Tonight's Jack Fact together again. 2 pairs of Rainbow Wahine played together on the same high school teams. Janelle Gong and Kirsten Sibley at Campolindo High School in Moraga, California, and Faith Ma'afala and Tita Q, part of some spectacular teams at Kamehameha Kapalama. Won a state title together, in fact, in 2013. We've commented on it before. Imagine the energy that was brought to the floor by that Kamehameha Kapalama team with both Q and Ma'afala in the mix. Bosworth blocks back. Bosworth a second time. Diving save by Tita Q. Here's Castillo the dink. Diving save Bosworth. Castillo puts it down. Great effort on both sides of the twine.
Once again, Tita Q keeping the ball alive, keeping the rally alive, controlling it. Ball's not overpassed. A lot of back row players will bump that over when they go to the floor like that. Not a Q. She has great control.
16 serving 14 here in set 1. And Noreen Yosia soft touches it over, forces the overpass. That'll be played by Gaskin. Yosia goes middle to Krug. Kamale Krug, who didn't make her season debut until last night, had 2 kills and 3 blocks and was so active. She's in the starting lineup tonight. Timeout, Riverside. Welcome back. Let's check out the First Hawaiian Bank top 3. It's Big West kills per set individually. Lindsay Ruddins of UC Santa Barbara Top the list, Kaiulani Ohuna, who wasn't able to make the trip for Riverside out of Kamehameha, Hawaii, because of a knee injury in that number 2 position. And obviously an unfortunate turn of events for head coach Michelle Patton-Coleman, who you also saw in that shot. Yulia Ushakova unable to make the connection with that set from Chelsea Doyle, and it's another point for Hawaii, creating a little bit of breathing room here at this stage of set 1.
See if Yosia brings the heat again, or if she's going to roll a short one. Heat.
A little more heat.
Overpass.
And a little bit of heat coming back from Kamale Krug for the kill.
Yosia, you know, she's one of the best jump servers in the country. When she serves a ball like that, it's not easy to control. Middle blockers are going to have a field day.
And how about an ace for good measure? Timeout, Highlanders, as Hawaii has separated itself from UC Riverside here in set number 1. It was neck and neck for quite some time. Now Hawaii with its largest lead of this opening stanza.
You know, it's interesting that against Fullerton, the same thing happened when McKenna Granado went back and served like 10 times in a row. We're seeing the same sort of burst by Yosia with all of her great serving.
A 6-0 run for Hawaii, and we saw the impact of that long service run for McKenna Granato for Cal State Fullerton. They didn't quite recover from that. They put in a spirited effort for sure, were competitive in that 3rd set, but it broke them a little bit, at least throughout sets 1 and 2.
Absolutely, and I think this is going to have an effect on Yosia's run is going to have an effect on Riverside as well. So Robin Amos Santos has got to be happy with the offense so far. Yosia with 4 kills. You know, when's the last time you saw the setter leading the team in kills? Yosia with 4, Krug with 3, McKenna with 2, and Casey Castillo with 2. Nice little offense, and Hawaii hitting 320.
Compare that to 091 for UC Riverside. UH Athletics reaches out each week with updates and promotions through its H-Mail e-newsletter. To register, visit hawaiiathletics.com and click on the H-Mail button. It's simple and it's free. Noreen Yosia, 5'11" junior from Torrance, California, out of Redondo Union High School. Surpassed 2,000 assists in her first 2 seasons as the standout setter for Hawaii, only to now be multi-dimensional. Almost got another ace there. Comes up with the dig there. A cue. Back, blind, bump set. Castillo off the block and down. And Hawaii has found something here in this back half of set number 1.
Well, Q is really getting good at this back blind bump set, and she put it right where Casey Castillo likes it. Even though her blocker's up, Casey found a way to get it down. She is really improved.
We'll see another ace, and it continues to mount here for Hawaii. They lead by 8. They have scored 8 straight.
Riverside still in a 3-person passing pattern. And one of the ways to combat, you know, a server like that is either do a substitution like they're doing right now, slow the server down, or go into a 4-person passing, put more people back there so that they can somehow, you know, have somebody put the ball up.
They bring in a senior defensive specialist in Christy Alejo. See if she can help out. Ushakova dug up by Noreen. Back bump set again to Castillo. It's like Groundhog Day right now for the Rainbow Wahine.
It really is. You'll see with a pass. Back blind bump set by Q, and then Castillo putting it down.
Castillo, her conference numbers, a little bit of a bump here through 3+ matches, but she's 3rd on the team, averaging 2.3 kills per, and it results as a delayed ace for Noreen Yosia, as it's aloha ball for the Rainbow Wahine here in set 1, and that happened quickly.
This is the best I've seen Noreen serve all year, where she's had a kind of consistency, keeping the ball in play and gradually bringing heat.
Good pass there, and that one is slammed down by Yulia Ushakova. Hawaii had scored 10 in a row. And still have Aloha ball here in the first frame.
And the crowd gives Yosia a well-deserved round of applause.
Yeah, that was quite a run there behind that end line. Can Hawaii finish the deal here in the opening set? Outside, it's Castillo. Yes, she does. Yes, they can. Hawaii, an 11-1 run to close set number 1. 25-15, the final arithmetic. Teams will swap ends. Set 2 on the other side of this break. Noreen Yosia doing Noreen Yosia things. 4 kills, 4 assists, 2 service aces, and 3 digs. Filling up the stat sheet, C-Mac.
Yeah, once again, Noreen just doing it all, as we see her going over the block. She hits little cut shots. She brings the heat on the serve. I mean, she is just such a great all-around player. And Casey Castillo picked up her 100th block last night. Here she's picking up a few of her kills. She got altogether 5 kills in the first set, hitting 500.
You mentioned it as we go inside the numbers presented by Heineken. 100, the career blocks for senior Casey Castillo. She reached it last night, and she commented after the match about just how fast time has flown. Here she is now a senior, and really when you think about it, we are about a half dozen matches or so away from senior night here at the Stan Sheriff Center. It goes by pretty quickly, as any Rainbow Wahine volleyball player or any Rainbow Wahine athlete for that matter can attest. But for Casey Castillo, her journey through her Hawaii career has been circuitous. She has been bounced around from position to position, still experiencing that here in her senior campaign.
And she just wants to be on the floor, tells Coach Robin Santos, put me anywhere you want. I just want to be on the floor. And she's doing a great job on the left side right now.
You need players like that in your program, right?
Yeah. Hey, by the way, another quick stat from the first set. Hawaii hit 393. Last night, they were hitting in the low 200s, and Robin Santos looked at the sheet afterwards and said, my gosh, this looks like we lost, not won. I don't like these numbers at all. So she scolded the girls and challenged them to hit for better percentage tonight, be more efficient.
Here's Nyla Jones. Saw the first out serve by Riverside. There's Natasha Burns gently finding the floor, and that is her first kill of this match on her 5th attempt.
Hawaii's offense becoming more diversified. It's been the Burns-Granato show pretty much the first half of the year. And all of a sudden, other people getting in on it, like Yosia.
Jones goes over the block. Right there is a cue, though. Bump set to Castillo. Took a little something off. Dug up by Doyle. Jones again. Blocked and rope. Yosia and Burns saying,
Well, it's the Rainbow Wahine Roofing Company in action.
See the blocking numbers for Natasha Burns. Remember, it took her a while to get into the mix for Hawaii. She did not play in the first several matches. But just like last year where she was coming off of injury, once she got out there, it was impossible for Robin Amos Santos and company to take her off the floor. She's been that impactful. Timeout, Islanders.
This presentation of Rainbow Wahine Volleyball is sponsored by Bank of Hawaii and Hawaii Honda Dealers.
Welcome back to the Stan Sheriff Center. It's a 4-0 advantage here for Hawaii as we are in the early portion of set number 2. The Rainbow Wahine winning set 1, 25-15. Nyla Jones blocked back. Gets another swing at it and then hits it into the twine. And Hawaii continues to run. They finished set 1 on an 11-1 run. Noreen Yosia serving 9 straight points amidst that. And here they are now on a 5-0 run to start set number 2, C-Mac.
Now they've won 17 of the last 18 points. That is dominance.
And another ace for McKenna Granato. She is the team leader in that department. Her 17th of the season, that fell off a table.
The bottom just dropped out on that one.
6 serving 0. Another good serve. And that one finds the end line. Kat Lowry awfully close. But a point for Riverside. And a nice play there by Lowry.
You know the story on Lowry, right? Her brother plays for the Green Bay Packers.
That's right, Dean Lowry. Burns is blocked by Lowry. I would be much more enthusiastic about the Green Bay Packers connection if not for the fact that I were a Detroit Lions fan.
Oh, that's right. So that's why you haven't mentioned it yet.
So,
that's why you haven't mentioned it yet.
So yeah, whoop-de-doo is basically what I'm saying. Here's Castillo. Hits it long. And all of a sudden, Riverside doing the running. They've ripped off 3 straight. Castillo will just two-hand it over. Free chance here for the Highlanders. It's Lowry in the middle. Couldn't quite make the contact she wanted on that. You'll see a blocked back, a cue with one hand able to pop it up. You'll see a second time, pinballed around, and Riverside will slap it over. Advantage Hawaii here. Ma'afala goes middle to Burns, but she paintbrushed it and missed the court wide. And all of a sudden, Riverside has scored 4 straight. They're within 2.
You know, it's interesting. Ma'afala usually looks at the other team's block while the ball's in the air. That time she didn't. She didn't notice that late to get out the block was Morgan Klein on the right side. Had she set Castillo there would have been no blocker up at all.
Another questionable set there. Granato has to just two-hand it over. Scrambling on both sides of the net. Here's Castillo, gets a full swing there, dug up by Victoria Bakawati. Bosworth tried to go down the line and missed it. Hawaii gets the point. A set of runs here so far in this second frame. Kamale Krug rotates into the front row for Hawaii and a cue to serve. 7 serving 4. Right side, it's Morgan Klein. She's able to get it down past Tita Q.
Good swing by Klein. She saw the block take it across court, so she just turned her shoulders to the right, picked up a nice line shot. Young lady out of Yakima, Washington.
She is of part Samoan ancestry. So a return to Polynesia for her. And here she is at the net trying to joust against Krug. And it results in a free chance here for Hawaii. Right side, it's Yosia against a solo blocker dug up by Doyle. Beautifully done, but Bosworth tried to hit it over on the second touch. And some miscommunication there for Riverside results in a Hawaii point.
So Yosia just unloaded on that last session. She knew there was only one blocker up, but give a lot of credit to Doyle there for popping it up. Great dude.
And that's an ace. Noreen is locked in from the service line tonight. Number 3 for Noreen.
Should be good. Best serving performance by far we've seen out of Noreen this year. She did a lot of these runs in her first couple of years.
And that one just long.
I shouldn't have said that. Did I just botch you here just then? I'm not sure.
It's definitely, if it's anybody's fault, it's certainly your fault.
That's right.
I do like the way you characterized it, though, because it was, 15-14 when she went back to serve in set number 1, and you characterized it as then UC Riverside ran into Hurricane Noreen.
Yeah.
As Hawaii scored 10 straight. It was an 11-1 run to close set number 1, and there's Kamale Krug on the step-out C-Mac. So she's showing a little bit of the arsenal here.
Yeah, by the way, Sarah Leva has not been playing poorly. I think Robin Dos Santos is just giving Krug some time just in case she needs that third middle blocker, because Sky Williams has been hurt. And who knows who Robin Dos Santos is going to take on the road.
Okino forces the overpass. Here's Angel Gaskin blocked in roof. That was Bosworth getting most of that one. Yeah, that's a good point, because Sarah Leva, her number's really solid, hitting .338 on the year. Maybe if you were to compare the two, I think what the coaching staff liked out of Kamale Krug, at least last night, was the fact that she was touching a lot of volleyballs at the net. And so, yeah, why not try to expand your depth at that very important middle hitter position? There's Granato from off the net. Outside, and that's Nyla Jones, heavy-handed. And Riverside, it looked like for a while there things were getting off the tracks a little bit, but here they are now within 2 and looking every bit the feisty team that we saw in the first half of set 1.
Nyla Jones, just a 5'9" outside hitter, leading this team right now in kills with 4.
Well, that's set a little tight to the antenna, so Jones just pushed it down the line. A lot of activity there near that opposite pin, and then a rat-a-tat back and forth, and Doyle thought she found that sideline, missed it wide. It's a point for Hawaii, and the look of surprise on her face back towards the bench was pretty classic. Check this out. It looked like, no, it was awfully close, and I guess we don't see the expression back towards her head coach, Michelle Patton-Coleman, but it was one of utter shock, and enough so that Patton-Coleman will bust out the replay challenge card. So Wayne Lee will put on the headset and he'll take a look at this thing. He is the down official. Jason Olson atop the ladder. Dean Tamura, Melinda Rusher, the 2 line judges here this evening.
Let's see if we can see this ball catching line. Hard to tell from that angle, because the white line was blocked with the volleyball.
I mean, whether or not it gets reversed, I think that's a good challenge there. I think that's one of those where it's close enough. You're in the midst of set 2. You're down a set. Why not see if you can somehow sway things in your favor?
And she doesn't have to use a timeout, and she gets to talk to her team. I thought that one, that replay looked like it was out.
You get 3 challenges each side. One of the changes here this year is if a match goes to a 5th set, you are granted an extra challenge. From that angle there, I might be leaning towards that being an in ball. We got the Jeopardy music playing overhead here at the Stan Sheriff Center. Look at Robin Amos Santos. Well, looks like Wayne Lee has come to a conclusion. What'll it be? It will not be reversed. So it's one of those sort of addendums to the replay idea, right? And you hear about it really in every sport where replay is present, and that is that you don't have enough incontrovertible evidence to overturn a call. It's just questionable enough that you can't justify reversing the initial ruling as Nyla Jones sends it long. And those can do so much in terms of momentum within a match. Those review challenges.
This little pancake move to pop the ball up, keep it alive. Nyla Jones, just a freshman, carrying a big load on the outside. When Ahuna went out, Nyla Jones was forced to carry a lot of load.
And she sends a free ball over. One hand set from Yosita Burns. Here is Jones on the outside pin, tried to go down the line. Yosita slapped it up. Gaskin going high hands. Good save there, Morgan Klein. Riverside on the attack. Jones by the double block and down. Nyla Jones with 5 kills. That is her 15th attempt.
She's being asked to carry a big load. She's got the next person behind her. She's got twice as many, more than twice as many as the next attacker as far as kill attempts are concerned.
So Victoria Papawati, who stands at 5'2", a sophomore from Los Angeles, California, and who cites Eric Shoji as being among her favorite athletes And making a save that was very Eric Shoji-like, but Angel Gaskin rising high at the net, providing the roof, and Hawaii up
4. Once again, Hawaii's block just getting better and better as each match moves on. I think it's going to be a big factor when they go to the mainland next week and play Santa Barbara and Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Their block has got to be working.
And Burns in on that one as well. Here's Jones. I don't think that one got up over the tape. So Hawaii starting to, just like they did in the back half of set number 1, distance themselves a little bit from the Highlanders here in this middle portion of stanza number 2. Christina Escamilla, another freshman on this squad. One of 7 freshmen, in fact, on the roster out of Arlington, Texas, onto the floor. Overpass, Burns, can't put it down. Bakawati, great layout save. Here's Yosia, splitting the uprights of that proposed double block. And it's another Hawaii point. Well, Michelle Patton-Coleman trying to see if she can find some kind of rotation, some kind of combination that can get them going. Here's Camilla with a good swing, but a great dig by Okino. Here's Granato down the line, and that got a piece of climb. And another point for Hawaii. They're up 7.
It was tough for Michelle Patton-Coleman. Whenever you lose a player of the magnitude of Kailani Ahuna, you got to rely on many people to cover what Ahuna did, because she cast a very big shadow, big shoes to fill.
Free ball coming once again for Hawaii. Can they take advantage? Ma'afala backside to Yosia. Well, they have talked about how strong their relationship is, and certainly when you're in this modified 6-2 system, it pays to have those two have a strong rapport with one another. But we see it even in those instances. It is felt. And that one getting plugged through the block. Kat Lowry getting the kill.
Once again, another serving run, this time by Ma'afala, giving Hawaii some separation, some breathing room in this second set.
Ashlyn Blotzer back into the match. Another player that had to shift from the middle hitter position to the right side hitter because of the injury to Ahuna. Renato gets a second crack at it, but it's dug up by Doyle. Back bump set. Here's Escamilla. That's dug up over the net. Escamilla fields it. Doyle goes middle. Lowry. Someone came into the net, and it was Lowry. So a violation against Riverside. Point for Hawaii. And it's now an 8-point advantage. And we're going to have another timeout signaled by UC Riverside, so we'll take a break as well. Hawaii out in front. Welcome back. Time now for the Akamai Roofing Report. Hawaii getting in on the block party a couple of times here tonight.
Oh, there's the Akamai Roofing towels out tonight, too.
Good timing there.
A great sponsor, too, to have for a volleyball skill, don't you think?
Very Akamai of them. That one's sent long, and it is a point for Hawaii. 19-10 in favor of the Rainbow Wahine. When you talk about the absence of Ka'iulani Ahuna, she was averaging over 5 kills per set before the injury to her knee, which prevented her from making the road trip out here. Second in the Big West Conference, as that serve by Granato goes wide. But she was the AVCA National Player of the Week. The opening week of the season had 30 kills versus Montana, which at the time was the UC Riverside rally scoring era single match record. You see McKenna Ross checking into the match for Hawaii. That record would fall, though, due to a 34 kill performance against Idaho a couple of weeks ago by Ka'iulani Ahuna.
She's ranked top 5 in the country in kills per set, and she's like top 10 in points per set as well. So productive and so hard to replace that. Hawaii now hitting 0-0-0 for this set. Not good. Offense not functional.
Still up by 7, however, as Castillo got the dink dug. And then Burns, it goes off the block, and then Burns pounds it down, which you are allowed to do. Even though it looked a little bit peculiar.
She basically set herself.
That's right.
Yeah, you get 2 contacts, one right there, and then there's a second one. Not illegal.
Burns with the quick middle set.
Yeah.
Give her the assist and the kill as the roof was up. Speaking of Akamai roofing, Castillo next to Krug, and Hawaii up 9. And we're going to have another substitution. Trinity Castaneda making her 2nd appearance of the season. A true freshman from Indio, California, standing at 6'1", an outside hitter. Outside, Bosworth, great dig by a Q. Wow. Castaneda tried to go cross court, but missed wide.
Did it surprise you that another dig by a kid?
Nothing really surprises you anymore when it comes to Tita Q.
So I asked Tiff Wells when he came home from the road trip, so what was it like at Irvine and Davis? How did Q play? And he said, next question. It's just so obvious.
Yeah.
It's rhetorical.
Yeah, exactly. Here is a cue. With the bump set to Yosia from the opposite position. Now Riverside on the attack. It's Ushakova getting it by the Hawaii blocking down.
Nice quick, fast tempo set from Doyle there. Ushakova. Well executed.
So Tara Eaton again to serve. Quick middle, Krug, that one not quite executed the way Hawaii envisioned. And it is now a 6-point differential with Riverside getting to 15. And Robin Amos Santos has seen enough for the time being. She signals for a timeout. Hawaii now hitting in the negative numbers here in this 2nd set.
That's why she's calling timeout. She does not like seeing those bad hitting percentage numbers. Too many self-inflicted wounds, too many errors. She wants her hitters keeping the ball in play. You know, when they got a good set, green light, go for it. They don't have a good set, like to call it an orange light, and just keep the ball in play. And if it's a red light set, scramble to just do anything you can to keep the ball in.
Hawaii hitting negative 0.32. For what it's worth, on the other side, Riverside negative 133. So this set has been a battle of offensive attrition here to this point.
That would be a kind way to put it, I would say. The coaches wouldn't be quite as nice.
And yet Hawaii's still leading by a half dozen, and we see Robin Amos Santos trying to take advantage of the situation by getting some younger players some playing time. Started with Kamale Krug last night, resulted in her getting the start tonight. And then we see Trinity Castaneda in the match as well. And I think that expression says it all from Robin.
Yeah, you know, she sent them out early too. She sent them out with like 30 seconds. She only used 30 of the 60 seconds. Whatever she had to say, it was quick, it was to the point, and we'll see if it makes a difference in how they perform these last 4 points.
I think some of this is certainly because she, as well as everyone within that program, understands the challenge that is in front of this team this coming week on the road to the Central Coast at UC Santa Barbara, at the preseason favorite and defending Big West champ Cal Poly. You'll see her off the block. She plays it up. And Ross will two-hand it over. Advantage Riverside here. They go high and away to Bosworth. And falling away, she's able to get the kill. Castaneda couldn't handle the dig at that point. And it is another point for Riverside. And it looks like Casey Castillo is going to check back into the match. Largest lead for Hawaii in set 2 was 9. It has been whittled down to 5. Ma'afala backside, Yosia against a double block. Great dig by Doyle. High ball to Bosworth off of one leg. Bad luck for Doyle, or bad luck I should say for Bosworth, as it ricocheted off the net and out of play. There was some open floor there. on the near sideline. Bosworth unable to take advantage, so Hawaii back up a half dozen. Quick middle, Ushakova.
I tell you, Doyle and Ushakova really have a nice connection. Their ball is passed up to the 8 or 9 foot line. Doyle, they're afraid to fire it up there to Ushakova. I like that. Nice execution again.
Good serve there by Alejo. And Krug has to bump it over. Outside, Bosworth down the line, but wide. And Hawaii dodges another BB. Yeah, Robin Amo Santos, she knows that this team needs to be firing on all cylinders come next week when they fly to the West Coast.
Yeah, that's on both nights for sure. Santa Barbara and Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Tough road trip, 2 long car rides, that's for sure.
Ushakova, great save by Yosia off of the Ross touch. Outside, it's Bosworth. The dink falls. Third kill of the match for Riley Bosworth.
At that time, Hawaii was in the off block or get the tip defense.
You'll see a backside. Here's Gaskin off the block and down. That looked rhythmic. That looked smoother.
Nice set from Yosia, right where Gaskin likes it. Gaskin did a nice job of hitting the ball down the line and slapping the ball powerfully into the block and forcing it out of bounds.
So Aloha ball in set 2. It's Krug with the serve. Backside, Ushakova off the block and down. You had McKenna Ross next to Burns, 5'10" and 6'5", proposing the block there for Hawaii.
Ushakova now leading all attackers for Riverside with 6 kills, and she's hitting .400. The team's hitting .000.
She's got a couple of blocks on her stat line as well. Here's Gaskin, shuts the door in set number 2. Well, it wasn't always aesthetically pleasing in the second frame, but Hawaii once again gets it done, 25-19, and they will have an opportunity to open up the broom closet tonight at the SSC. Knowing how important momentum is in this sport of collegiate volleyball, how important is it for Hawaii to try to establish a semblance of rhythm here in this third set? Even if they are to pull off back-to-back sweeps here this weekend, would it mean anything for Hawaii to finish this match in a certain stride?
Yeah, I think it would be really important for them to finish in a certain stride. Their offensive output has not been sharp, and so to use this particular set as a way to get flowing again, I think is really important.
All right, well, before we get back to volleyball action, let's check out how it works, presented by Central Pacific Bank. What do we have here, C-Mac?
We're going to watch Kamale Krug on a step-out maneuver right here. One of her 4 kills, and Hawaii needs kills like this, an offense like this. She has to split block, she finds it, and Kamale Krug hitting .333 on the night. She's helping Hawaii's average, that's for sure. That's what you have your middle hitters have got to do.
So Hawaii up 2 sets to none. 25-15 was the final arithmetic in set number 1. 25-19 in set 2, but as you alluded to, it wasn't the most aesthetically pleasing frame of volleyball that we've seen played in this building.
Hawaii hits .393 in the first set, .028 the second. They cannot be a Jekyll and Hyde kind of a team and be successful.
Good opening serve here by Faith Ma'afala. And it results in Bosworth pumping it long, and so Hawaii strikes first in set 3. Ma'afala attacking that same corner. Slide goes to Ushakova. Castillo unable to get under it. Yulia Ushakova has most definitely been Riverside's most consistent offensive threat.
7 kills, hitting .455. I'd call that pretty consistent.
Sure. Ma'afala goes middle to Natasha Burns. That was well done.
Exactly what you're talking about. Getting some offensive rhythm, get Burns involved again, start setting the middles. Don't be in, a pin-oriented team. Show that you're a team that has some diversity and some efficiency on offense.
That means being sharp from the service line as well. Granato floats it deep. Ushakova a little off balance there. Unable to get it over the net. Hawaii gets the point.
I think you jinxed her. You're just talking about how consistent she was. Really, you're just talking about how Ushakova was their most consistent player. Next thing you know, she hits in the middle of the net.
It's a real thing. Bocce is a real thing. Into the net it goes from Granato. A 2 serving 3, and it will be Yulia Ushakova back to serve.
I think Hawaii's serving has been one of the bright points tonight. 4 aces, 5 errors. It's a nice ratio of those two numbers, but they've just had long serving runs by different people.
How about Burns fielding the serve and then getting the set in the middle? The expression on the face of Tita Q, who was in position to make the pass, was pretty priceless after the fact.
I think Burns stole the pass from her, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
Q doesn't like it. She likes to pass every ball. There's another dig by Q. Who else?
Case in point, Granato with a fireball from the back row.
Again, some diversity in the offense, setting the ball, the pipe set out of the back row, something different Hawaii hasn't done in a while. Going more to Burns, something they haven't done in a while.
Q with the serve. It was a nicely executed serve off the block. The dig by Granato. Hawaii on the attack. It's Krug through the block, pinballed around in return. Free chance Hawaii. Ma'afala middle to Krug.
Ma'afala unafraid to repeat that set to the same person. Give him a second try. Catch the defense off guard, thinking Ma'afala's going to go elsewhere.
Krug now with 5 kills. Nyla Jones goes off the block, but Hawaii unable to garner a return. Yeah, Krug, 5 kills on 8 swings, hitting .375 to go along with a single block so far in this match. 3 serving 6. Ma'afala sets it up for Yosia, tried to roll it down the line, dug up there by Blotzer, but then it finds its way out of play. And becomes an easy point for Hawaii. Noreen Yosia behind the service line, and this is where the match really took a turn towards Hawaii's favor in that opening set, where she served 9 straight points. Almost got another point there. Goes middle to Krug. She got under it.
She hasn't made many errors tonight. It's only her 3rd, I believe, on 9 swings.
4 serving 7. Yosia delayed middle to Gaskin. And once again, Kat Lowry in the way. Entered this match 3rd on the team in blocks, but she has been getting her fingerprints all over the volleyball tonight.
It's a nice job of adjusting there. Foul. She knows that Gaskin may get the set in that position.
Granato, that's an overpass. Yosia got a piece on the free swing by Bosworth and then sends a freebie over. And Riverside take advantage. Bosworth dug up by a Q, her 7th dig of the match. Here's Castillo, pumps it long. Was there a touch? No touch. Point for the Highlanders. They're within 1.
Casey had the right idea of going over the block. She just went a little bit too over the block.
6 serving 7. Riverside creeping. Yosia highballs it outside to Castillo. Good dig there by Mallory Marcus, entering the match for the first time here in this set. Here's Castillo on the outside. Was there a touch? No touch. Sends it long again. And Robin Amos Santos, at the urging of her players, is going to challenge that call. I think she's going to challenge whether or not there was a touch.
I'm not sure about that one. I think it was pretty far over the block. Hawaii may lose that. Robin Amos Santos may have just wanted to have a little discussion with their team about their sputtering offense. There's a swing by Castillo. I don't see any fingers bending back there. Net cam there, I don't think shows a finger being bent back. Hard to tell though.
What do you think?
It's really hard to tell. Ball's traveling so fast. It's, it's just too blurry. Hard to freeze the ball right where the blockers are.
And Wayne Lee.
I think that's the right call. There wasn't any overwhelming evidence to overrule that.
So a couple of challenges tonight. Neither of them resulting in a reversal. And here we go, starting over at sevens in set number 3. Hawaii leading this match 2-0. And it worked like a timeout.
Exactly. Froze the server.
Rico Kino now in and back to serve here for Hawaii. Middle, that's Ushakova. Make that Lowry, dug up by Yosia. And a free ball now for Riverside. Lowry again in the middle, got under it. And it's a point for Hawaii. They're up 2. The out serve, it goes back to Riverside. Hard for Hawaii since that first set to really find any kind of rhythm. They've had some ill-timed service errors, but as you mentioned, the ratio pretty good service errors to aces tonight. But just not really sharp since that 11-1 run to close things in the first set. Renato cuts it across and in.
The other thing that affected things greatly was, as far as Hawaii's offense is concerned, is that Robin Amos Santos, as we take a look at this sharp angle that Granato takes right there, great shot. Robin Amos Santos chose to get a lot of people in.
Yeah.
That can disconcert a lineup, disconcert the setters, can really throw off the flow of the game.
Oh, Krug forced the overpass, but Burns hit the net on the follow-through on what would have been an assured put down. Got caught with her hand in the cookie jar that time. 9 serving 10. And you're right, it's that sort of risk-reward factor as the serve goes long. You want to get your underclassmen some under the bright lights experience here at the Stan Sheriff Center. But you also want your team as a whole to be sharp and to be playing at a certain level, especially gearing up for a road trip this coming week.
Exactly, and you want that B side to work so hard. You want to reward them with some, like you said, some bright lights time. But when it throws off the offense and it starts being dysfunctional on offense, then it's a risk-reward factor you're talking about. Do you take the risk of possibly losing a set even?
Well, that can get them amped up, though, as Burns and Yosia combined to shut the door on Bosworth. 12 serving 9. Follow down the line. That was beautiful. May have been an out ball played by Bakawati, who is now the libero for Riverside. Either way you look at it, it is a 4-point advantage for Hawaii. Timeout, Highlanders. Welcome back. Hawaii up 2-0 here on UC Riverside and leading 13-9 coming out of a Highlanders timeout. And quite a day for University of Hawaii sports with that 5-overtime victory for the UH football team at San Jose State. Remember, Wahine trying to finish off Riverside, but the Highlanders not making it easy. Here's Granato through the block and then through the hands of Christy Alejo. And it is now a 5-point advantage for the Lady Bows.
Mafala's really ripping her serve down the line. It's a difficult one to pass. It's like a 90-mile-an-hour knuckleball.
There it is again, passed by Bakawati this time. Middle set. Ushakova couldn't get a good contact on it, so you'll see a cross-court bump set to Granato. Saved by Eaton. There's another save by a Q on the other side. Granato tried to soft touch it over, but it was just a little too soft.
It's a really sharp angle.
There is not a knife in the world that can slice it that thinly. Mafala sets up Granato on the opposite pin. That one dug up over the net, played by Yosia. Mafala with choices, goes to Burns. Hammers it home.
What a smart play by Yosia to not try to hit that ball on the overpass. Instead, pass it up, run a play, and like you said, give Mafala choices.
So 15 serving 10. That was pretty. Renato's serve here in this, her senior season, has become as threatening, as devastating as it's been in her entire career.
Yeah, I would agree. Second ace of the night, Hawaii's sixth ace of the night, and only 6 errors. Another tough serve.
Back-to-back aces dealt out the deck by McKenna Granato. Yeah, you've said it several times tonight. That's been one of the reasons why Hawaii has put itself in this position tonight. The hitting not always there, some of the other elements not always there. The serving, though, has been stellar. Welcome back. Stick around for the Heineken postgame show coming up right after the match as the corner crew, Scott, Lisa, and the guy that looks just like Battery Bill, break down all of tonight's highlights and statistics. 17 serving 10 out of the timeout here in set number 3. The dig there by Granato on the Nyla Jones swing. Yosia tried to cut it across, diving one-hand save Alejo, and it'll be returned. Mafala middle to Burns. And she's starting to feel it. 6th kill for Natasha.
Good save that time by Alejo. Keep the ball alive. Here's Burns once again, feeling it in the middle.
18 serving 10. Alejo with trouble on the pass there. And Granato defending the back line well. She'll get the set from a cue, is blocked and roofed. Ushakova getting in the way.
Well, Granato took a healthy swing at that one. She thought it was probably going to be down instead. As you said, Ushakova got in the way. She's having a solid night tonight. Hitting .308, 7 kills, a couple block solos.
Mafala has to go a long way to set up Castillo from off the net. Good job anticipating that dump shot there by a Q, but a net violation is going to go against Hawaii. Looked like Burns came into the tournament. So 12 serving 18. Mafala tried to bump set it cross court to Castillo. She hits it into the net. So another sort of down cycle here in this latter stage of set 3. We've seen this a few times tonight from Hawaii. Here's Yosia. 2 blockers waiting for her, but she's able to thread the needle.
Time after time, Northern Yosia has gotten Hawaii out of a jam.
I mean, she isn't just now a complimentary piece filling up space, as Hawaii was struggling to find a full-time opposite hitter. She's becoming a go-to hitter in addition to all of the other things that she has to do for this squad.
Exactly. Perfect set from IQ.
That was perfect. Great dig, though. The block was up, though, on the dump shot. The block was up again by Krug. Jones touches it over. Sniffed out by Yosia. Here's Castillo. Quick wind up. And a net violation called against Riverside. It's a point as the ball found the floor anyway. 6 kills now for Casey Castillo. One of 3 players with 6 kills for Hawaii. Krug has 5, and Yosia leading the way with 8. Krug handles the overpass. And promptly Hawaii back up 8.
She did a nice job of redirecting that to her left side. Had she just tapped it straight down, she would have been stuffed. Smart play by Kamale.
Outserved, though, by a cue. Kamale Krug, her father, Dr. Gary Kalihua Cruz, is a former University of Hawaii offensive lineman before eventually becoming an educational specialist here at the University of Hawaii. But a family, as we mentioned last night, that is very involved with the Hawaiian language and culture, as evidenced by how she has incorporated it into this team's preparation and sort of its daily routine.
Should have seen Kamale in the post-match interview last night. She was the star, and she did part of the interview in Hawaiian. That's her native language.
That is beautiful. Here is Krug. She's got 7 kills now. She's hitting around 300. And there is Pops taking in the action. Kirsten Sibley now on the floor for Hawaii. 22 serving 15.
You'll see his second service error of the night. Go along with 3 service aces.
Backside, Castillo winds up, uncoils. Good dig along the end line there by Jones. Bosworth blanketed. Krug next to Castillo. Castillo will come to the bench. How about the line for Krug here? 7 kills, hitting .333, a pair of blocks in just her second match of her Rainbow Wahine career. Aquino sends it long. Nine service errors compared to 7 service aces for Hawaii. You'll take that number, huh?
Absolutely. Not happy with the hitting percentage, though. Hitting 177 for the night, 156 in this set.
Renato trying to better it. And that one had some smoke trailing off of it. Hawaii gets to 24 and they rise. They were at the Stan Sheriff Center.
She hit that ball as if she's double parked outside with somewhere to go. Didn't want to get a ticket. She wants to get out of here.
Yeah, that had some anger behind it. Aloha ball for the match. Krug with the serve. And it is returned by Riverside. Quite a play just to extend it. Burns is dug up. Here's Bosworth from off the net. Doesn't get it over the twine. And that's how this one comes to an end. The Rainbow Wahine take it in straight sets. They cut Elua aloha and improve to 4-0 in the Big West Conference. Final numbers 25-15, 25-19, 25-17. Wasn't the prettiest, wasn't always the smoothest, but in the end, Hawaii chalks another one up in the win column.
Well, you know, the night started out, you know, actually pretty. Hawaii hit 393. Yosia went on a 10-point run in her serving. And in addition to hitting for positive numbers around 300. And then all of a sudden it kind of went south. There was a lot of substituting going on, a lot of discombobulation going on. It was very awkward, to say the least.
Well, Scott Robbs is with Robin Amos Santos. Let's hear it.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Coach, congratulations. You're 4-0 in the Big West Conference, and that's really what matters.
That is what matters. The big picture, that's what matters. But small picture, I mean, we needed some momentum going into this next week. Obviously, we got Cal Poly and Santa Barbara, you know, 2 hard teams. That's not what I wanted, but it is a win, 4-0.
You know, one thing you did well all weekend long was serve. Your serving game was good.
We practiced a lot of serving. What can I say? But, you know, the rest of the game just got to come up, you know. We got to convert on some of the easy balls. We take them out of system. Like you said, we got good serving. And then we can't convert, you know. Just got to get going on that.
Yeah, you mentioned next week it's going to be difficult. UC Santa Barbara and then against 15th ranked Cal Poly. Those are 2 big matches for you.
I mean, that's huge. That could decide, you know, the fate of what we do at the end of the season. So, yeah, we got to get back in the gym on Monday and get it going.
Congratulations, you're 4-0.
I know, thanks.
Guys, back over to you.
Good to see her crack a smile at the end of that interview. Robin Amos Santos, her Rainbow Wahine, now 8-5 overall, 4-0 in the Big West Conference. Bank of Hawaii players of the match when we come back. Bank of Hawaii presents the players of the match. Yulia Ushakova, 7 kills, hitting .267 with 3 blocks. And how about Kamale Krug in her first career start? Second career match. The true freshman, 7 kills, hitting .333 and 2 blocks.
She was a bright star tonight for sure. I think Robin Amos Santos has got to be happy with that. I think she's got Sarah Leva also in the wings, ready to go. And I think the biggest thing, Kanoa, is they've really got to get going back to the practice gym and get the offense smoothed out, because that road trip is not going to be easy. They're going to go to LA probably on Wednesday or Thursday. They got a 2-hour drive to Santa Barbara, a tough match on Friday night, and then they got to go up the coast even further to go play at Cal Poly, 2 of the better teams in the league. Cal Poly ranked nationally.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a tough road trip, and they've got to be ready for it, and it'll help if their offense is a little smoother. Tonight hit .393 the first set, but .028 in the second set, .176 in the third. Well, those are not good numbers.
Superficial it may be, 8 digs for Tita Q, fails to reach double-digit digs for the first time this season.
And that's because I think the other team made 25 hitting errors and didn't get the ball into her side of the court. Had it gone over the net and into her side of the court, she probably would have been in double digits very easily.
Meanwhile, Noreen Yosia, 8 kills, hitting .286, 10 assists and 8 digs. How about 3 aces and 2 blocks as well? So once again, the compiler strikes once more. All right, that'll do it for us. Don't forget about the Heineken post-game show with Scott, Lisa, and Dave. But for now, we bid you adieu. For Chris McLaughlin, I'm Kanoa Leahy. Until next time, everybody, aloha from the Stan Sheriff Center.
Highlights Hawaii and UC Riverside. We start off with the serving of the Rainbow Wahine. There you see Yosia, who had 3 of the team's 7 service aces on the night. McKenna Granado also had 3 to lead the Rainbow Wahine from behind the service line. Talking about Noreen Yosia, the all-around utility player for the Bows with the rose shot, gets the kill right there again over the double block. Yosia led Hawaii offensively with 8 kills, contributed 10 assists, and 3 service aces and 8 digs. And Kamale Krug, who we had on the other night, actually last night in the post-game show, got her first career start as a Rainbow Wahine. Did not disappoint, 7 kills, hit .333, also contributed a couple of blocks up near the net for Hawaii as UH wins it in 3 over UCR to go to 4-0 in conference play.
From Spectrum Sports, it's the Heineken post-game show.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. Scott, Lisa, and the coach. So Hawaii makes a back-to-back night. Sweeps over Cal State Fullerton last night, and this evening over UC Riverside. They improved to 4-0 in the Big West Conference. However, it's kind of a fragile 4-0, I would think.
Well, I think we've played 3 of the worst teams in the conference, but we have quite a challenge ahead of us next week. We have to go to Santa Barbara and then trek up to Cal Poly, and that's going to be a tough road trip.
You know, the one thing we've seen this year, though, with this team is that they struggle really to find consistent offense. Tonight they hit 184, I think it is, against Riverside last night in the low 200s. If they're going to be successful next week, and we'll talk more about that later probably, but they're going to have to raise their hitting percentage.
I guarantee you they're going to have to hit more than 18% if they're going to beat Santa Barbara or Cal Poly, especially Cal Poly, who's just on a roll right now. I think we will. I think they'll get up for the challenge, and we're going to hit for a better percentage in my opinion.
And I think that they will definitely rise up to those matches. They know what lies ahead of them. That's road trip, big pressure, but not pressure. But I think this team tends to wait for a little bit of a challenge. And tonight, Riverside really did not present much of a challenge for them.
Well, when you hit minus, you're never going to win a match. You cannot win a match if you hit negative, and that's what Riverside did tonight.
But we have seen the improvement of the serving game. We mentioned the 7 tonight, 6 service aces last night, and it's not just the aces, it's forcing bad passes on the other side of the net. They had 10 in that Sunday match win against UC Irvine. That's something you could look to and say, well, that could help them out.
Well, Noreen's cracking the serve and cracking the jump serve, and she's creating a lot of points. And McKenna Granado's, it's got that low float, tough serve, and I like that. And Tita's serving well, same thing, low flat floater, and that creates a lot of points.
But they're also doing really well, not only serving from that line, but they're specifically serving areas or players, and they're moving the ball around very well. So they're putting the opposing teams in a lot of trouble. Karch Karai once said that serving is the most underrated skill there is, and it's where everything really starts. So you can tell the team has been working more and more on serving. Very efficient from the back line.
Lisa, I couldn't agree more. Let's take a look at the final numbers from tonight's match.
Well, again, as you take a look at the numbers, the biggest thing that jumps out at you, like Coach Dave Shoji just shared, is the negative hitting percentage. You will never win if you hit in the negatives. But what I found interesting was that the digs, we talked about it in the pregame, is that there would be a lot of long rallies, and they're very similar. They both ended up with 35 digs. And actually, Riverside doing a nice block, out-blocking Hawaii, believe it or not.
35 digs for both teams. That's super low. It really is for a Division I women's match, even though it only went 3. But the bottom line is Hawaii gets to win as they pull up the Terraflex. Get ready for the Sacramento Kings here tomorrow afternoon. We'll have more when we come back.
Welcome back to the Heineken Post-Game Show.
Well, I do have to correct myself. The Sacramento Kings won't be here. At least they're not supposed to. It's the LA Clippers that are playing a team from Australia in tomorrow's matchup. All right, let's take a look at the Big West Conference standings brought to you by Levitt, Yamani, and Soldner. And there's still only 2 unbeaten teams, Cal Poly, Hawaii, sitting at 5-0 and 4-0 respectively. And you look at Riverside, they're tied with the team that was here last night at 0-4. Next weekend, you've got UCSB 3-2, and then, of course, Cal Poly, as we take a look now and transition to the upcoming schedule, and it will get more and more difficult on the road to UCSB. That's a LA trip and then a drive, and then they'll have to drive from Santa Barbara. You know that drive well, Lisa. Up to Cal Poly to take on the Red Hot Mustangs before home again on the 12th and 13th against Long Beach State and CSUN. Well, you heard Robin mention that, next weekend's trip could really decide whether or not they have a chance to win the Big West Conference.
Well, I think we really need to concentrate on the UC Santa Barbara game. It's critical that we win that game first, and then we think about Cal Poly, because if we lose that game on Friday night, it takes a little bit of the luster out of the game on Saturday. So let's concentrate on Friday and try to get a win there.
Yeah, and being your alma mater, it's a tough place to play, and that team is led by Ruddins, who just made Player of the Week. She's very offensive, but Hawaii will have their work cut out for them. And what's nice is that they're done tonight. They got the sweep 2 nights in a row, gained some confidence, hit the road, it got some rest as well.
I remember the first time I went to UCSB, I walked into the gym, not the Thunderdome. Is it Rob Gym, the other one? And I looked up and I saw a character drawing of the UCSB Hall of Fame of Dave Shoji, who was an All-American setter at Santa Barbara. And he looks exactly the same now as he did when he was 20.
You know what? They got a picture of my brother, and they put. No, I'm serious.
Is that right?
They couldn't find one of me. They got a picture of my brother, and they drew the caricature, and that's what was on the.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah, my brother Tom.
Well, you look like him when he was 20.
I guess
now.
so. I don't know.
Alrighty, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, very special guest in the corner. You got to have Faith Ma'afala.
Welcome back to the Heineken Post Game Show.
And we're back as they continue to tear up the Terraflex and get ready for basketball. But tonight it was volleyball. The Rainbow Wahine improved to 4-0 with a sweep over UC Riverside. And in part to the play of the young lady joining us here in the corner, Faith Ma'afala, 19 assists on the night, and a belated happy birthday yesterday.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You turned, what, 16, 17?
You hit it right on the nose. Yes.
You're pretty close.
Yes.
I think there's 2 twos involved in that, but congratulations. And
thank you.
you must be living a dream right now. I mean, you started your career, well, you went to Kamehameha, and then you started your career at Southern Utah, came back, saw some action last year, and this year you're right in the thick of things.
Oh, for sure. I got to thank Coach Dave. I mean, the moment that I decided that I wanted to come home, I contacted him. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be living the dream that I am right now today. Yeah.
Well, thank you, and I'm really thankful that you're in the program because you bring a lot of energy, a lot of good, positive things. I wasn't sure you were ever going to play, but just the fact that you were in practice, encouraging everybody. You're an encourager, and it's just so awesome to see you on the court now.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Coach.
I think truly what you bring, looking outside in and seeing you in high school play along with many people that I know, is that you've always been a fighter and you've also been a believer. And seeing you come into the program, I knew you'd get on that court. You'd find your way. Explain to the viewing audience how it is, because I was a middle hitter. You've got all these different middles right now. Yes. How it is adjusting, because you've got a 6'5", you've got a Sarah Leva, you've got different sizes. How do you work with that?
Being raised up as a setter, that's definitely something that Coach Rob has told me about. As a setter, you need to know every hitter and you have to connect with them. But I think what makes it a lot easier is the communication between setter and hitter. Like, hey, Faith, I need it just a little bit higher, a little bit quicker, and just constant feedback. I think that's definitely, it plays a big role in connection with me and my middle six.
Talk about only playing the back row. I mean, because of the system that Robin has employed. Does it give you a chance when you're not on the floor to kind of give an idea of what you want to do when you go out onto the floor?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yes. I think that's definitely an advantage for myself and definitely giving feedback to my team. Like, okay, this is what I saw. Now let's implement it and let's go to work type of thing. So, yes, it's awesome.
Didn't you play some front row a few weeks ago?
I did. I did. It was super fun. Anytime you get to play front row, oh, yes, fun for sure.
Well, your last name is Ma'afala and the family name is well known on the gridiron in football. Your father, Benson, was a great high school quarterback, played at UH. Your late uncle, Nick, was a tremendous football player. So does your football family kind of talk to you about volleyball? Or do you have a football mentality in volleyball or what?
My family, yes. If I could play football, I'm telling you.
I think you could play football.
I could, right?
Think you could.
Right? I could. Coach Rollo.
What position?
Quarterback, of course.
Oh, there you go.
Of course. But I think my family is awesome all around. We have a bunch of, the next generation coming up, and they're playing many sports. And, we're football field, that's definitely something that our family is good at. But they've learned to adjust over the years and realizing, we got kids playing soccer, we got kids playing volleyball, kids boxing, and I think they just have that competitive spirit that you need in any sport. So, yes, they're awesome.
So we're going to see some more Ma'afalas out in the field, court, whatever.
Yes,
lots of them.
Just wait. They're upcoming, man. They're getting so big.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Watching this team, it doesn't seem like you guys have played that match yet. I mean, you're 4-0 in the Big West, and, you had the hurricane threw things off, and you kind of struggled trying to get to know each other. When do you think you guys are going to be able to put it all together? Are you looking forward to this road trip because you got 2 tough matches?
Yes, I am. I'm definitely looking forward to this road trip. I think as a team we've definitely gelled off the court, and now I think we just have to implement that on the court. And even with, coming in this weekend, taking 3-0 both games, we're definitely still not satisfied. We're hungry, and I think that's the mentality we need going into such a big week. So we're definitely going to take that against Santa Barbara and Cal Poly for sure.
Well, congratulations, continued success. We'll talk to Rolo this week if he needs another quarterback.
I'm telling you.
We have a Ma'afala waiting in the wings.
Thank you.
All right, the Bows, they're 4-0. Now they head out on the road, and that'll wrap things up for us here this evening. Special thanks to our always outstanding Spectrum Sports crew. For Faith, for the coach, for Lisa, I'm Scott. Until next time, we bid you aloha and a good evening from the Stan Sheriff Center in Monmouth.